This time around, we're going to be taking a look at a smaller case Seiko. This is a Seiko Alpinist. I'm going to leave the exact reference number of this one in the description. This is a European exclusive, but I will be referring to the Seiko Alpinist in general. The only difference on this one is just the dial color. Everything else is exactly the same. We'll go through the specs of the watch. I'll give you my thoughts and experience, and then at the end I'll tell you guys if I recommend it. So let's see what we have here. The case diameter is 38.6 millimeters. The thickness here is 13.2. Lug to lug, we have 46.2 millimeters, and the 20 mil lug width. We have a sapphire crystal up top with AR coating. There is a date magnifier over at the 3 o'clock position. With the Seiko Alpinist, this has the rotating compass here, which is bidirectional. It's not ratcheting, it's just a smooth movement. It does feature a screw down crown, and it does have nice knurling for easy grip there. It's not signed, but there is the 6R35 movement underneath here. So there is hacking and hand winding. Second hand stops. Nice smooth hand winding. This is actually smoother than like a Seiko Turtle or anything of like that caliber here. So very nice movement. There is a screw down case back with an exhibition on the back here. We do have a 3-link style bracelet with solid end links. And what's nice about this is it has a milled clasp as well. Very nicely done by Seiko. It does have the point clasp here, but it only has 2 micro adjusts. So that's the only downfall I see with this bracelet. For Seiko standards, and even in general, this is actually a very good bracelet. There's not much wobble to it there, just enough to make it comfortable, but not bad. The only thing that I see, this does make kind of a rusty old door sound. Maybe it's just my example. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I've never experienced that with any other watch I had. This is the only one that makes that weird noise. Let's get back here to what we have. We have nice brushing up top with nice polishing on the sides here, and there is a polished bezel, so very nicely done. The dial, you'll see, is a very nice, they call it this is the Glacier edition. Like I said, this is a European exclusive. These do come in various colors. We'll get to that in one moment. The transition from the case to the end links here is very nice with very tight tolerances, so there's no gap, there's no wobble. Very well done, and they are female end links, so the fit is quite nice on here. And there is Lume Bright all over the cathedral hands, and there are little lume dots all over the indices here. So let's take a look on how it wears on a 7-inch wrist, just for reference. And there you go, 38 millimeter size. I think wears great. This is more of a sports watch. I think it's actually considered a field watch, but kind of more of the classy side. So I think this is a great size for a 7-inch wrist. I think perfect size for 7-inch wrist, in my opinion, is anywhere from a 38 to a 40, maybe a 42 would be the recommended sizes that I would suggest. This with the short lug to lug of 46 wears perfect, I think. It doesn't wear tall, but it has enough presence on wrist to know that it's there, but it's small enough to it kind of gets out of the way for a more dressy feel and look. And you can obviously put the dress shirt on here and it'll look right at home. You can put some jeans and a t-shirt on and they'll still look great. These are available through Seiko USA on their website. They are different variant colors for the dials. This one in particular is not available, like I said, because this is a European exclusive. The color is, but Seiko USA has the white one, black, green. There's all types of colors. They have them listed on their website for $725. Just as a heads up though, usually these are on leather bands. I think the black dial version is the only one that comes in a metal bracelet. And I do suggest that if you can purchase this, you should pick up this bracelet because I personally like having them on OEM bracelets. Seiko's bracelets aren't always good, but I think this one is worth the price. So if you have the ability to pick one up, I think it's a good addition to this watch. Like I said, I just personally like OEM stuff on my watches if I have that option. You can also pick these up on eBay. They are available anywhere from $550 to $700. Usually they can go up to the retail also of $725. And a lot of authorized dealers have these. They usually run on the authorized dealers anywhere from $650 on up. Sometimes you can find coupons depending on, or some type of code depending on the dealer. But these usually run around MSRP or just a little bit under. So this one in particular, since you have to order it from overseas, depending on the exchange rate, it can be a little bit more pricey. I think these run anywhere from $750 to almost $800, just depending on your currency exchange rate and depending on what it is on the day that you buy it. One thing I forgot to mention on this one here too, getting into my experience with the watch a little bit, the actual indices on here are not applied. So what Seiko does sometimes on their dials is they press the numerals out from the back and they just kind of paint them chrome to make it look like they're applied indices. So that's kind of, as an enthusiast, that's kind of a letdown when you think that this has applied markers and it's not the real thing. But you can't, I mean, it doesn't bother me much. You can't really tell. It's done well. Everything's crisp, nice and legible, and the chrome color applied seems very uniform and very well done, so it doesn't bother me. Another little kind of feature of this watch is that compass. Like I mentioned before, I personally don't use it. I just kind of leave it alone. I've never met somebody that has an Alpinist that actually uses this thing, but it's just a feature that's I guess kind of cool to have, kind of different, to change things up a little bit. I know that they sell Alpinists also that don't have the compass with them. Me personally, I think those look a little bit strange. This one looks, I mean, this is the original design, so I prefer this to the non compass having Alpinist. So that's just me though. What I do think is a great feature is that exhibition case bag here. I actually wore this one day and I had somebody ask me about a good first watch, and I actually recommended this just because I think this is a great everyday watch. If you don't like a chunky diver or you want something different, I think this would make a great everyday watch, or just an addition to any collection here, just because it is so different. And I would personally recommend, if you can, pony up the extra money, try to get this this colorway here, the Glacier Blue, I believe it's called. There was a limited edition which is very expensive. This is what they call a non-limited Glacier. This is not numbered, so you don't have to pay that premium. You just have to make sure it's in stock and that the overseas dealer will be able to ship it over, because that does become an issue with some dealers. Like I said, this is a European exclusive, so you're not supposed to be able to buy these from at USA. So just make sure they can ship over. But I think that this dial, and the reason why I'm moving it so much is I want to show you guys all the different variations that this gives off as far as color wise goes on the dial. That's why I picked this up. I actually had the white dial variant beforehand with the black leather band, and I thought it was great. It was a strap monster. You can put many different types of NATO colors on and it looks right at home, and then you could dress up the white dial with that leather band, and you know, you look very classy and fit for the boardroom or the office. When I saw this color variant though, I knew I had to have it, so I sold the white version of it and picked this one up just because it's so different. My watch box is mostly black and white dials and maybe a few anthracite gray dials, so this is the pop of color that I got in my watch box. I had other colors beforehand. I had greens, orange, yellows, but I noticed that I don't wear the bold colors that much, and this is just bold enough where it's a different, you know, like sometimes it gives the shades of blue, then it turns into gray, and then sometimes it's a teal color or an inky, like dark gray. So that's what I like about this. It has enough color on there to be different, but it's the nice tone of it that makes it sometimes subtle, just depending on how the light hits it. And when this thing goes out in the sun, it's completely different. Once you get into a shaded area, it's completely different. So I love that about this watch. It's never the same. It's very, very gorgeous dial here. The movement is, I think, a great option as well with this watch. I mean, it has, like I said, the better buttery smooth hand winding. I think this has a 70-hour power reserve, if I'm not mistaken. So great power reserve there. And I actually like the magnifier on this, and this particular variant that I have here. It's perfectly centered, and the magnifier actually makes it a lot easier to read the date. I don't know exactly how many times that's magnified, but it's very, very well done, and it actually does work very well with this watch. I think this is a classy alternative to an everyday watch. This does have 200 meters of water resistance. I don't think I mentioned that before, with that screw down crown and screw down case back. So this is actually a watch that is ready if you work in an office environment to be more formal. But like I said, you can put a NATO on here, a leather strap or some type of rubber strap, and you can wear a jeans and t-shirt with this watch, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about taking it off, washing dishes, or going to dip in the pool or getting it wet, you know. So this is a great everyday watch. I do recommend this. It's something a little different from the big divers that I wear. You know, I have 44 millimeter divers, 42 millimeter divers. This is just a great change of pace, just with the different tone of dial color and the sizing of this watch. It's a very good everyday watch, I believe. Let me charge this up so I can show you guys the Seiko Lume Bright on here. Like I said, the cathedral hands will last you all night. There are lume dots where the indices, behind the indices, so that those do lume up as well, and they do last a long time, but they don't last all night. I think just because the lack of real estate space. But besides that, I mean, Seiko Lume Bright, so you know it's gonna be bright. So let's turn off the lights here, show you guys what I mean. There you go. I only charged it for a few seconds there, but as you can see, this lume is strong on the hands, and like I said, those little lume dots will fade, but I think it's not lack of potency. I think it's just lack of real estate. Great watch to have. Let me know what you guys think of the Seiko Alpinist. I know these have their cult following behind them, although it might not be as popular as other Seiko models. I think this kind of slides under the radar of a lot of people, but I think it shouldn't. This is a great watch that I do recommend for everyday watch use, and I do recommend this for somebody that's just starting into the hobby. I know it might be a little bit more on the pricey side, but I think this thing is worth it. I mean, just the fit and finishing on this is just a step above, as it should be for the price. And I think that with this dial color here, I think is the best option with it. Either this, or you can get the black or the white one. I think would be the best options. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you guys on the next one.